What is going on, all you Pokemon collectomaniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and here we are 2 weeks later, yet again, looking at the cards that are in the highest demand yet lowest supply on TCG Player. And I'm telling you this, every time I do this video, I walk away with so many cool learnings, and I'm so excited to bring this to you today. Now, one of the most powerful things about this is this isn't me scraping their website, this isn't me data warehousing anything, right? This is an Excel sheet that comes straight from TCG Player. Now, why might TCG Player provide us with this information, right? Well, it's because they make money when cards buy and sell on their platform. So they're giving us this information. They're saying, listen, if you list these cards on our site, they're going to sell like hotcakes because everybody wants them and we just don't have enough supply to meet the demand. Now, when you think about buying and selling in the Pokemon space, eBay is obviously number one. It's number one by a mile, but number two is going to be TCG Player. Now, eBay has actually purchased TCG Player, so they're actually one and the same. Currently, they're operating as separate entities, but when TCG Player shares this kind of information with us, I don't care if you're a buyer, a seller, a collector, a player, just a hobbyist in general, this is really cool stuff that we need to pay attention to. Now, as always, these videos, I try and make them better with every iteration, and one person in one of our last videos when we did this said, hey, shouldn't the prices be moving? Like, if this is a high demand, low supply card, shouldn't the prices be going up? And I thought, well, yeah, why didn't I think of that? So in this video and in this series moving forward, we're going to share price movements. Now, remember, this is out every single 2 weeks, so don't expect a ton of price movement every 2 weeks, but when we see it, it's something we need to call out, and the whole idea of this is for us to play chess when everybody else plays checkers, so we're going to try and look for patterns and trends and things that we can identify early on when cards make this list. The other thing that's really cool about this video is, guess what? A little thing happened over the last couple of weeks, and that's Pokemon 151 dropping. So this is the first time we're going to see the supply and demand list based off of a brand new set dropping. And at spoiler alert, you're going to see a lot of Pokemon 151 on here. So anyways, this is a really cool video series. I'm pumped to bring it to you. And I will say this, if this kind of data and analysis gets you fired up, listen, we do fun stuff like this all the time on the PikaPikaPaPa channel. We would love it if you hit that subscribe button, joined our amazing community. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Questions or comments, drop them down below. And listen, those 3 small things go a long way in helping my small channel out, so if you find value in this, go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. Now, with that being said, let's get into what you're here for, and that is the actual data. So I will tell you this, TCG Player sends me a bunch of data. Usually I have to clean it up. This one, it was really clean. I think moving forward, instead of having it in 3 slides, I'm gonna break it up into 4 because I want everybody to be reading the names and the sets and the cards and all of that on these lists, because if you're interested in selling some of these cards, you know, they're not big names, right? All that matters is that there is an outsized amount of demand versus the supply on TCG Player, and that's why I think this list can be very helpful to us. It kind of opens our eyes to things we might not have noticed right off the bat. So now, we don't have a ton of cards with comps, but the only reason we don't have a ton of cards with comps is because Pokemon 151 is all over this. Now, I don't think Pokemon 151 being all over this is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because we might not know which cards from Pokemon 151 are going to be in the most demand and lowest supply, and this gives us an idea of, hey, a bunch of us have been ripping it. This gives us an idea of what's going to sell really, really fast if we have them in our hands. Now, one of the interesting things is we do have a couple cards with comps on here, and this is obviously the bottom third, which means, you know, it ranks all of the cards from 1 to 50, you know, highest demand, lowest supply is number 1, and then it works its way down. So 2 of the cards here that are on this list, you know, they've kind of fallen back a little bit. When you look at that Charizard EX card from Obsidian Flames, right, it has been number 13 and number 13 the last 2 videos. Now it's fallen to number 37, and the price has come down 7%. Then you look at Electric Generator, same thing, right? It was number 21 last week. It has fallen to number 42, and the price has come down. But then you got the Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames, number 215. It went from 2 videos ago to 12 last video to 44, but guess what? The price is still going up, and that's because the Charizard, man, the Charizards from Obsidian Flames are doing really well in competitive play. I know there's some awesome Charizard decks out there, so this card is still gaining in price. Now, the other thing that I thought was really cool when I looked at this, and it's been flying under the radar for me, is these Prize Pack Series 3, right? We see a lot of those cards represented here on the bottom third. I don't know if that will have any impact on sealed product because we just started doing this video. I haven't been able to notice enough trends or data movements, and we will figure that out in time. But I did think it was really interesting to see so many of these Prize Pack Series 3 cards here on this list. Now, the other thing that I will say is, of course, we see 151, but like I said, you don't want to be buying 151. You want to be selling selling Pokemon 151. I wanted to make sure that I said that early in this video. Remember the Pokemon pop and flop, right? 151 cards are going to come out, they're going to pop up in price, and they're eventually going to pop down. So be a seller, not a buyer. Keep that top of mind. So now that we've looked at this bottom third, let's get into the middle area right here a little bit. Now, Forest Seal Sown is a card that just, it won't go away. The playability is fire. People absolutely love it. You'll see that 2 videos ago it was at number 5. Last video it was at number 24. It has gained a couple spots at number 21, and the price has gone up 6%, going from $13.99 to $21, or to what is it, $14.89, excuse me. Then we look at the card right above it, like that's the Charmander. That's the sealed promo, which comes from the Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer boxes. There is no shortage of Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer boxes, and there is no shortage of them well below MSRP. So I am not surprised to see this card coming down in price, and I'm not surprised to see this coming down the list a little bit as well. But then we get into a card like Jet Energy. Remember, like, this is awesome. Somebody like me, straight up, like, I'm an investor, like, I'm a collector. I like things that I think are going to hold good long-term value. A card like Jet Energy probably isn't going to do that. It's going to rotate out at some point, most likely, and the price is going to, normalize or come back down a little bit. But in the meantime, listen, last price was 76 cents. In the last 2 weeks, it has gone up 29% to 98 cents. And this is the power of looking at a video like this. This is the power of the more times we look at this, we'll start to get those trends, and maybe we'll be the ones to be able to buy it at 76 cents and sell it in a couple weeks later for $1. Remember, you might even be able to post these cards even higher on TCG Player because they're telling us there is a high demand for this. So this is really fascinating. Really interesting information. Now, as I said, lots of Charizards from Pokemon, or from Obsidian Flames that are on here. Lots of 151. The thing that I love about the 151 cards is look at all the names. Now, that's what we expected. We know it's a nostalgic set, but it just excites me to see all of the demand for Bulbasaur and Charizard, right? We got Zapdos, we got Poliwhirl on there, right? Wigglytuff, like all kinds of just awesome, awesome cards. The Venusaur EX on there. Me and my family were fortunate enough to pull that card, number 198, when we did our Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box openings the other day. We opened 2 of them. We had a ton of fun. So I just love seeing these cards on this list. I love seeing the amount of demand that's on Pokemon 151. And this is another thing that we can say, hey, listen, like, there's so much demand for these singles cards. I think the sealed product is going to be great, and I think there's lots of upside for 151. Now we're going to get into the top 10 right now, and as no surprise, 8 of the top 10 come from Pokemon 151. But what is a surprise to me was the names that are up here, right? Mew EX, then we got Alakazam up there twice, like you got Squirtle on here, Charizard, Charmander, Blastoise. Like, yeah, there's some big names, but did I think we were going to see Alakazam and Mew, in the top 6, those 3? I actually didn't. If anything, I thought we'd see some Kadabra up there, but Alakazam, 2 different cards are up there. You got the Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Remember, I talked about that card. I talked about the playability of it, right? Like, it's been number 1 3 videos in a row. This comes out every 2 weeks. So for the last 6 weeks, this card has been the number 1 most in-demand, short-supplied card out there. Now, does that mean if you have it, you should hold it? That's something we're going to have to figure out, because I think it's very interesting that it has remained the most undersupplied, over-demanded card on TCG Player, and the price is up 13%, right? Then we have that Iono. So everybody knows about the playability of Iono. This is the one that you can get on the cheap for $3.21 right now. But 2 weeks ago, it was going for $2.66, up 21%. I know I have a ton of these in my PC. I think I'm about ready to start listing some of them, because $3 a pop is really, really good. Heck, nowadays you can get a pack of Paldea Evolves for $3 and change. So I think that's a pretty cool swap right there. And these are the type of things that I'm really excited to see as we continue to move forward. Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of Paldea Evolved. I think the special illustration rare Iono is going to keep that set relevant. There's a whole lot of really cool artwork in there. But as we continue to do this video from time and time again, this is one of the things that I think we can use as a tool in our tool belt when we're trying to play chess and everybody else plays checkers. So we're going to continue doing this video. I hope you found a lot of value in this. I hope this helps you search through your collection and make a couple extra nickels that, maybe you can reinvest into something you're more passionate about, and you can help get these cards in the hands of the players, collectors, and hobbyists out there who are really valuing them, because obviously high demand, low supply on TCG Player means a lot of people are hunting for this cardboard. So listen, I hope you guys have an epic rest of the weekend. I've got something cool for you coming out on Sunday. I appreciate you. And if you made it to the end and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Questions or comments, drop them down below. And please know how much I appreciate you. Have a good one, everybody.